My mother-in-law used to say, "This girl won't be able to do anything." When the bank manager called me the owner in the family meeting, she couldn't utter a single word. Revenge tastes best when you don't have to speak, when the truth reveals itself. My mother-in-law used to say, "This girl won't be able to do anything." That sentence wasn't just sound, it was a sharp blade hanging over my head, slicing through the quiet I carried at every Thanksgiving dinner, every Sunday brunch, every family gathering where I was expected to smile and stay small. She believed I was just the girl who clipped coupons, hunted Target sales, and did coffee runs at the office. But her real mistake happened the day she laughed in a family meeting and called my 401k contributions kids' pocket money. That was the moment I realized this wasn't a family issue, it was a game. And I was quietly rearranging the board, move by move, waiting for my turn. The trouble began when the topic of a mortgage renewal surfaced. In front of everyone, she said, she can't even fill a loan application on her own. I didn't respond. I never did. I knew reacting loses the game, planning wins it. I stood at the sink washing dishes, but in my mind, puzzle pieces were finally falling into their proper places. The house was technically in my husband's name, but there were details everyone conveniently ignored. The down payment had come mostly from my account. I was the one who took out the 401k loan. After refinancing my student loans, I had single-handedly paid the house bills for 3 steady years. The property tax receipts always came to me. Small numbers, small facts, but every game is won by small, deliberate moves. My mother-in-law loved repeating, "This girl isn't practical." Time would prove who actually was. I began planning the day the first ownership meeting was announced. The stated goal was to divide household expenses fairly, but I sensed something else, a shift in control, a quiet attempt to rearrange power. I didn't argue. Instead, I spent a full week gathering every bill, every receipt, every email, every bank notification, every contribution statement. I created a single folder, the kind no one notices until it becomes the winning card. During lunch breaks at my retail office job, where I worked as an assistant manager, I stayed busy calculating futures while ringing up customers. I knew where interest rates were heading. I knew the right moment to refinance. I knew which questions to ask and when. When I finally sat in the mortgage officer's office and placed my documents in front of him, he looked up and said, "You know, technically, you're the primary contributor. Legally, you can initiate a title update." I nodded. The first official move was complete. When I returned home, I revealed nothing. When they asked why I'd been so quiet lately, I simply said, "Busy." Silence is efficient. Details are lethal, but only at the endgame. One afternoon, my mother-in-law announced in front of everyone, "We need to make major decisions about this house. And she doesn't understand finance, so let us handle it." I closed my notebook gently. She thought I was offended. Truth was, inside that notebook were the mortgage officer's signatures, a pre-approved title transfer application, and an updated contribution sheet where my name stood clearly at the top of every monthly bill. The move was ready. All that remained was timing. The day of the family meeting arrived. The living room looked like it always did. Gray couch, a Costco candle burning on the coffee table, leftover Christmas lights still hanging lazily along the wall. Everyone sat with their mugs of coffee, chatting casually, while I remained calm. The final level of the game had begun. My mother-in-law started speaking. "We want to make a collective family decision about the house." A knock interrupted her. I stood and opened the door. The bank manager stood there with a clipboard. "Miss Carter," he said, looking directly at me. My mother-in-law and the rest of them froze. They had clearly expected him to say my husband's name. But the words landed squarely in front of me. "We just need a few final signatures regarding the title update. Since you're listed as the primary owner, we needed you present." The room went so silent that even the refrigerator's humming felt loud. My mother-in-law's grip slipped, and her mug nearly fell. For the first time, she looked at me as if she was seeing someone entirely new. "Primary owner? How?" I took a calm breath. "These are 3 years of bills. Property tax receipts. Down payment slips. 401k loan statements. Mortgage contributions. All in my name. You probably didn't notice." My husband tried to say something, but I raised a hand gently. "Sure, Let him finish reviewing the documents. Silence is the most powerful move in any game. And that day, silence defeated them all. The bank manager collected the final signatures, closed the folder, and said, "Congratulations. Ownership updated." The faces around me froze in place, like time glitching. I didn't celebrate. I didn't smirk. I didn't make a speech. I had never been a cheerleader. I had always been a chess player. At the end, my mother-in-law finally spoke. Her voice held the exhaustion of someone realizing every assumption she had ever made had just collapsed. When did you do all this?" I answered softly, almost kindly, "While you were busy thinking I was nothing." The game was over. And revenge tasted exactly the way I imagined, silent, clean, and undeniable. Not a single raised voice. Not a single dramatic scene. Just the truth, standing fully exposed in the middle of a suburban living room. Sometimes you don't have to win loudly. Sometimes you just have to let the other side finally see what was always there. And in that moment, when the signatures dried, when the house legally shifted into my name, when the woman who dismissed me for years sat speechless, I didn't feel triumphant. I simply felt seen. For the first time. Because revenge isn't about destroying anyone. It's about reclaiming the space where people once believed you didn't belong. It's about showing, without saying a word, that every quiet step you took led exactly here. And the best part? They understood everything without me having to explain anything at all. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more powerful, real-life inspired narratives. Your support means a lot and helps these stories reach others who may need them. Thank you for watching, and stay connected for more chapters ahead.